Hi, it's Patty from PS Paper Crafts. Thanks for joining me today. I am going to show you how I made this card using Stampin' Up products. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, so I make lots of cards and I do some videos and show you how to use the product. This is something brand new that's coming out November 3rd from Stampin' Up. It's called Curvy Celebrations, and there are 2 stamp sets, and as you can tell, they have curves on them. And then they have dies that will cut out. So I'm using this die to cut out the dots and the kind of slope. And this is the one without the dots. And you'll see when I do the cutting on that one. And it will cut out the birds and the leaves. It has some borders. Some of these, so this will cut just on this part, but these will cut out, but not sure if it cuts the whole thing. Actually, I have to play with that. This one I know only cuts out the leaves. So it's something that you would cut out the leaves and then have something behind it showing through, I think. I have to play with it. It's always good to kind of play on scrap. There's the birds, there's, I think this will cut this piece out, there's some leaves. It's really cool. And then there's this great paper for Christmas. This is Sahara Sand, Shaded Spruce, and Cherry Cobbler. And it's just patterns, and I love it. I love that Sahara Sand. I think it's really pretty for Christmas. You could use it for other types of cards as well. And I love the colors. It's just really great. So we're using the trees on this one. And so anyway, this is available, as I said, November 3rd through January 4th. As a demonstrator, I got to order it early. So if you ever want to be a demonstrator, you get early stuff. Some of this will go away. So after January 4th, this goes away. It's really Christmas. And then this will be in the mini catalog that comes out. It used to be called the Occasion catalog, but now it's just the mini catalog, and that's January through June of 2021. I can't believe I'm saying 2021 already. So they're really great products, and I have a lot of playing to do, but let's get started with this card. I have my pieces. So this is the other half of this. So the paper 6 by 6, I cut off 2 inches to give me a 4. And I have to cut it down a little bit. I think I went a little bit higher because I wanted some room to cut and make sure this kind of matched up. So I made it 4 1/4. And then I cut it in half, so it's a 3 inch and a 3 inch, so I can get 2 out of them. And I will cut it down because depending on how your sentiment goes, where you move this and move that, you might have some extra trimming to do. You could probably get it to an exact science, but that's not how I work. I just kind of wing it and get it close as I can. This is Cherry Cobbler. I think that's a great Christmas color. So let's get started with our die cutting. Let me get my die cutting machine out here, and I just got this magnetic plate. So with the new die cutting machine, it has numbers. You use a number 1 as your platform, and then if you're die cutting, you have a number 2. And then you can use 2 number 3s, or this is the magnetic one, and it is a self-healing mat. It's kind of flexible, and when you put your dies down, they're magnetic, so it really kind of holds everything in place. So it just sticks right to it. So let's get our piece here. Now we want to make sure that the edge that's going to cut is up top, and then the dots are on bottom. And I'm going all the way to here, and I'm going to go as high up as I can and kind of go right to the edge. And the slope, you can make the slope however you want it. I'm going to just try to keep it like this. It's not, as I said, an exact science. And then we'll just put this right on top and run it through. Okay. And you're going to get a million little dots on your plate. So put that aside. It cuts really nicely, but it does leave some dots. So see? All these dots. let me just get my trash bin here, and I'll just kind of, I'm probably off camera here. I'm just using this to shove it off into my garbage. Okay, because you don't want to leave those little dots on, because then it will kind of make little dents or divots in your paper as you're cutting through. When you run your paper through, those dots will kind of push up. So let's get our white paper, and you don't need something as long as this. I have tons of these already cut out. These are my kind of my inside layer. So if you wanted to use just a smaller layer, that's fine. And this time I want the curve. I'm just trying to think. I had the curve this way, same way, because I want the top piece this time. You'll see what I'm talking about. So let me just, and we can trim it off as we go, and we'll run this through. And then we're done with the die cutting. So let's pull this off. Again, we'll have all these little dots, and I'll clear them off later. So I have those two pieces. And let's put this back. So now I have these two, and I'll probably use this for another card. This is the piece I want this time. And then I'm going to have this piece behind. So I want to kind of line it up. And actually, I'm going to trim this off right about there. Let me just see. Let me make sure my sentiment goes well. I think I'll do the sentiment first, and then I'll trim down. See, you can, and let me just clean this off, because I want to make sure it's nice and clean. Because you can actually, since these are photopolymer, you can actually move them and make the slope a little bit steeper. So just bear with me. You kind of have to play with it. So if I wanted to kind of make it this way, you can kind of bend it as you go. You just have to make sure it's clean. All right, how's that? So let's use some cherry cobbler, and then, as I said, we'll just trim it up as we go if we need to. And it all depends on how high you make these. And as I said, I'm just kind of winging it. I don't want to get any ink on that. So we'll just, and I love the way that's stamped. It's really nice. So let's just close this up and get rid of this so we don't get any mess. I probably could have gone down a little bit more. I'm trying to get it the right way here. I think I might turn it over and try it again. So let me do it this way and measure it this way. You kind of have to eyeball it. Now I could actually draw a line here, and maybe I'll do that. I'll pull it down a little bit and just draw a light line. Because I don't want to get any ink on this. Okay, let's see how that will work. trim that off. I think that's good. I can move it down a little bit. All right. So let's put our pieces down. I'll use a little bit of liquid glue, and I don't want to go all the way up to the edge. Or will I? Will I trim this one? I had to trim my other one. I will go all the way to the edge. On the bottom piece I won't. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue all the way around and go right up to the edge. Again, it depends on, you know, how you cut it. I hope I'm not causing you more grief than it's worth. Just paper, right? So don't worry about it. And I'm going to go right here and move it down a tad so it's kind of even. Okay, and then I want to cut this off. So I'll use my trimmer here. And we'll cut this off. Let me cut it this way. I think I got it. I think I was cutting a little bit of the cardstock. There we go. Boy, that was a little rough. Okay. Phew. Now we will just lay this out, see how it looks. Now this cup probably could have come down a little bit more, but I'm fine with it. And then we have these little stars, and I'll use Daffodil Delight and just put some stars. Oh, I didn't do the trees. Can't believe I forgot to do the trees. How silly. So let's get the trees. And again, you can kind of bend this stamp to get it where you want. I think that's pretty good. So let me just ink this up. Let me get a piece of scrap because I will be going off the edges. And it's not going to be exactly perfect, but I think it's good enough. Okay, that looks better. I was wondering why there was so much empty space on top. Silly me. All right, so now I will just put some stars around. There's two different size stars. They're pretty tiny, but I think they're cute. And we'll see if we need to add any more. Just kind of, I'll put one down here. I think that's good. So we're done with the stars. We can do the inside now. So on the inside, I just took a few of the trees, the Merry Christmas, and some greenery. So before I do the trees, I want to clean this off because I only want to get a couple of them. So I want to make sure I don't get ink and other parts. Okay, so let's get our ink. Let's move this out of the way. Make sure it's safe. And I just want to get like these trees. So I'll just ink it up. And just put it down there. Okay. And then we want the Merry Christmas, and that is in this set. So everything I'm using is in this set today. I love the stars. I want to try the stars. And then you can also put the, you know, thinking of you at Christmas if you wanted to. I saw somebody made a tree and put a bow on top. Just kind of stamp these branches and then put a bow on the top of it. I thought that was pretty cool. So you want to make sure we do this in the red. And then I just stamped some of this greenery. And I just want to come down, and I like to do it multiple times to get different shades of the same color. So let's put our card together. Now I did put the front on with dimensionals because I wanted to add a little bit of lift to it. And let's get the dimensionals out. Oops, there's the bad side. Don't look at that. I probably overdo it with dimensionals, but that's how I roll. Okay, so we'll just get the card out and kind of look all around it before we put it down. Cute. I love that font. I think it's really pretty. And then let's put a little bit of glue down on this. And I just like to put some dots. This glue really holds very well. Okay, so our card is done. I think it's really nice and like fun and cheerful. I like it. So thanks for joining me, and come back again. Take care. Bye.